right, Laura, since you spoke up, your quote is, I would rather die of passion than of boredom. Vincent van Gogh. Vincent van Gogh. I would rather die of passion than of boredom.
Well, I would have to agree with that for sure. There's nothing worse for me than being bored. If I can actually take a moment and say, oh man, like I am so bored, I am going to find something to do. Years ago, I was at a job and I hadn't been there for too long, but we were all working away, and one of the gals said to me, like, what are you doing? And I said, well, I can't just stand around and do nothing. Like, I've got to do something. So I was busy rearranging things or whatever. And she said to me, you're making us all look bad. And I said to her, I just can't stand to be bored and do nothing. So I would have to agree with that. Yeah, I just like to be busy in my life, and I like to do lots of things. And certainly in much of my life, I do feel passionate about, absolutely, like many of the things that I do. My work, for sure. Going to the mountains and hiking, just standing on top of a mountain, fills me up and certainly carries that passion into the rest of my life. Some days, if I have a really good meditation, and then some days my workout is really great. That creates a little bit of passion, and as well seeing other creative people. So looking at other people who create artwork and knitting and anything like that. Like, I'm always so inspired and appreciate what it is that people can do, the talents that they have. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Laura. Excellent. This is I'll read the quote first. To handle yourself, use your head. To handle others, use your heart. Eleanor Roosevelt. Eleanor Roosevelt, to handle yourself, use your head. To handle others, use your heart. Paulina.
To handle yourself, use your head. That's advice from Eleanor Roosevelt that really resonates with me, because my natural instinct would be to do the exact opposite. I judge myself with the heart, but everybody else has to be judged by my logic. And of course, that's not how we should be doing this. I think when she was talking about, what she was talking about was really empathy and the ability to reach out to other people and listen, not with your mind, but really with your heart. And what that means, how can you listen with your heart? I think that really refers to seeking and looking beyond words. What is the person trying to convey? What is it that's going on through their heart or through their emotions that they're trying to share with me? Because sometimes I find the words people use may not be great or accurate or even share what they're feeling. But the message that they have can be very powerful. I learned it, of course, like as many things in my life, through connecting with my kids, where they're so clumsy with their words, but their heart is glowing. And I can feel that there's something there that I need to dig deep for. And for myself, I always judge myself from emotion and from going something that's really spur of a moment, when in fact, when doing some self-reflection, your head is your best friend. Eleanor Roosevelt was a very wise woman. She did a lot of great things, and she had a lot of wonderful thoughts. I think this quote really speaks about her wisdom and her ability to connect with other people. Thank you.
Nicely done, Paulina. All right, the next quote is this. It's a little longer. This person says, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. This is Michael Jordan speaking. I failed over and over and over again in my life. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. And he's failed so many times, but he says that is why I succeed. So again, Michael Jordan's missed over 9,000 shots, basketball shots, lost 300 games, and 26 times his team was counting on him and he didn't come through.
Crazy.
But the failing, because he failed, this is why he succeeded. Ali, tell us what that quote means to you, or how would you use that as an example when you're trying to impress or when you're trying to motivate somebody else?
Thank you, Madam Postmaster. So I really like that quote because I feel like failure is not an option. It is what I mean by that. It is an option, but it helps you succeed in life. Without failing, you cannot succeed in life. So Michael Jordan tried so many times to shoot the basket and to play so many games and do all that. At the beginning of his career, he failed, but then after that, he's like, you know what, I'm going to try harder and harder and harder until he became a successful legend in basketball. So in life, and that's what I do, we all should fail, and we shouldn't regret that. Oh, John, I failed on this one. No, because you know what? You will learn from your mistakes. You will learn from your failures, and you're going to get up. You're gonna be a successful person, and you're going to become a advanced person and all that. So do not hesitate. Don't ever hesitate to fail, and don't listen to other people who tell you, you failed on this or that, or they mock you on this and that. No, just be yourself, and if you fail, that's okay, because you learn from your mistake, and that's why all of us join Toastmasters, so we can learn and grow with our speaking skills and listening skills. Back to you, Ms. Lewin.
Thank you very much, Ali. Well done. The next quote. Build your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs, by Farrah Gray. Farrah Gray says, build your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. Jeff.
Well, that's an interesting one. I think this one makes sense to people who either have an entrepreneurial mindset or something they want to do for themselves. So that means to me, when I started my career as a younger man, I worked for people for many years, 20 years probably. I worked for people and I worked hard. If I look back, I'm the kind of employee you want to have because I take business as my own. And so I worked harder than the owner did, harder than the boss is all the time, just because that's how I was. And so when I finally went out on my own, I used that same ethos or way to conduct business when I did my own, and it paid off very well. And so to me, it means build your own dreams, do it for yourself. And if you fail, get up and do it again. Go right back to Michael Jordan's quote in the last speech and use that man as an example as to what you do when you do fail. But then what you do when you have that success is you have to take that and transfer it. You cannot keep that just to yourself. And so, probably in the latter 15 years of my career, I was much more forthgiving and giving away advice or help as much as I could. And now I find myself with my son in a business where I'm trying to give him advice all the time. Of course, I don't know anything. God knows, God forbid, stupidest man on the planet. But I still try to impart that wisdom and knowledge to him in hopes that one day it does sink in and one day he does realize that the old man wasn't so stupid after all, That's kind of my ethos, to make sure that you pass it along to somebody else, but you do have to build for yourself. Whether you work with somebody or by yourself, you do have to build for yourself, because that's how you strengthen yourself and your career to be successful. Madam Chair.
My phone rang. I turned my sound off. I just recognized that you were on your phone too. So I'll say the quote again, and this is for you. Life is 10% of what happens to me and 90% of how I react to it. That quote is by Charles Swindoll. Life is 10% about what happens to me and 90% about how I react to it.
I must say that I totally agree with Charles Swindoll. Many things happen to us. Many things happen to me. It seems like some random or maybe some unfortunate, like all kinds of circumstances. Sometimes friendly, sometimes unfriendly, sometimes happy, sometimes extremely unhappy. In most cases, there isn't much we could have done. Sometimes we could, but very often it just happened. You picked up a virus, or who knows what else. But you ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. That happens. But the solution is how you react to it. What action do you take? And that goes well to other quotes that we already mentioned. Because you can fail many times, but you can learn from this and move on. Our responsibility is to take proper action, not just blame circumstances. Well, this awful thing happened to me. Sure, it happened. What did you do? Or what did I do? And I already mentioned that as almost a preteen, basically I got into a bad accident and all kinds of bad things followed. And it seems, especially for a young kid, it seems like this is it. You carry on, you do your best, then you recover. And many other things were happening in my life. Too many even to mention. But the key is, don't blame circumstances, don't blame things that happened to me. Make the best, make your own decision, move on. And just back to the current event. I was losing sleep for probably for a couple of weeks watching what's going on in Ukraine. And I'm sure people were caught by surprise in bad circumstances, yet it's how they react, how they deal with adversity, and that's what brings the solution.
Thank you very much. Well done. I know these were challenging quotes, but very interesting, and everyone was able to answer. And sometimes it's worthwhile thinking about them and inspiring ourselves as well as others. That is Table Topics for tonight.